Tennessee's Wild Side, broadcast for nearly 2 decades, was originally created through a vision of the Jackson Foundation. The foundation remains a supportive partner in the mission to educate viewers about wildlife, natural resources, and opportunities for outdoor adventure.
Hi friends, welcome to the Wild Side. I'm Steve Hall. Hot dog and hamburger bun eating buffalo are not necessarily the norm, but neither is the Lazy G Ranch in Cookeville. The family farm has way more than the average number of bison, and you're welcome to stop and see them for yourself and maybe even feed them if the family is home. The large herd is part of a plan to repopulate the hills and plains with this iconic creature.
2,000 pounds of buffalo, battering for a position in the pecking order. Or is it 4,000 pounds of bison just playing?
You treat them just like a really fast cow. A bison can run 35 to 40 miles an hour, can jump 6 foot, it can kick sideways, it can pivot on a dime. You'll think there's nothing wrong with them, but then you have to be so careful because people think that they're gentle, but they're not. They're a wild animal.
But even the wildest animal among them recognizes and seeks to be close to the giver of good things.
Now he sees it, here he comes.
While we are safely situated inside the cab of a sturdy farm truck, Eddie Gaw confidently gets out in the midst of a herd, under the watchful eyes of his wife, Frida.
Eddie, watch out, George's coming your way.
Aggressive and unpredictable, a bucket full of range cubes can quickly soothe a savage beast.
If they get a name, they're not leaving here. Frida won't let them leave. If they don't get a name, then I can sell them somewhere. So that's our problem.
There's a George, a Chief, a Kramer, a Beauregard, and a Blizzard. But the majority of these buffalo are a business.
I'd sold 20 head of cattle, brought me $20,000. I sold 5 buffalo bulls, and I sold those 5 bulls for $20,500. So I came back, loaded my cattle up, and sold them, and went to just buying buffalo.
Now, as members of the National Bison Association, the Gaws are invested in helping others get going.
Selling a starter herd is one of our most favorite things to do because it's going to grow the herd. It's all about growing the herd bigger, and there being more bison on the earth.
In the U.S. and Canada, there is between 400,000 and 500,000 head of bison. And the Bison Association is wanting by 2025 to be up to 1 million. And the average bison herd is 50 head. That's the average that most people have.
But the Gaws average about 100 to 150, and word gets around. This buyer drove up from Auburn, Alabama to take home 5 Tennessee bison.
So I have a petting zoo business in Auburn, but we also do agritourism activities, and so we're going to use these in the pasture. They're not going to travel, but they're going to be in a pasture for field trip activities for kids to see and interact with.
This little starter herd consists of 4 brown bison calves and 1 white.
A lot of people love white buffalo. It's supposed to be a good sign, a good omen, and there's different explanations about why they're white, whether they're crossbred or full bison.
They probably got a little bit of Charolais in them to make them white, because a true albino bison has the pink skin and the eyes are pink too.
But I think that would be a great addition. Be something people want to come see.
The Gaws are careful to keep the purebred plains bison separated in a back pasture from those that have been crossbred and are kept out front for a little more fun.
You could call it a tourist attraction, but we've never charged anybody to come that wants to stop by and see them. If we've got time and can yell for them, and they will come. The herd in front of the house, the herd that's not as pure as the big herd, they're pretty used to people. They like for people to come. They get treats then, and so that's just a lot of fun. We love sharing them with people because they're just amazing.
Native Americans have been known to use every part of the harvested buffalo. Even the tongue has been used as a hairbrush. The texture is not something everyone gets to experience.
So I'll tell people after they fed the buffalo and felt the tongue, I'll say, you are in a very small club in the people in the whole world that you have been licked by a bison.
The largest surviving animal in North America also attracts those who know the buffalo best. Frida fondly remembers the day they were visited here at the Lazy G Ranch by a young Lakota woman.
And we were standing there with them, feeding them treats, and she asked me if she could sing to them. And I said, sure, you can sing to them. So she started singing to them, and there was probably at least 25 still standing there around. She started singing to them in her native, in the Lakota language, and they all laid down. And like the hair on my arm is standing up right now because I had never seen anything like that before. So there is truly a connection with these animals and the Native Americans. I'll never forget it.
If you believe in dates with destiny, there was also a dream that seems to be at the root of this entire ranch.
When I was a little boy, I was sick and I had a fever. And I told my mama, she told me about it later on, that I dreamed a herd of buffalo was stampeding over me. I keep going back to that, and I don't know what that was. If that was just something telling me one day you'll raise bison, and that may be part of the spiritual part, I don't know. If you ever get down and just look a bison in the eye, it'll do something to you.
It's just like an old soul.
And it just seems like it draws you into them. Just draws you into them, and it's hard to explain until you've seen it yourself.
Although bison were hunted almost into extinction in the 1800s, there are little babies called red dogs being born every spring.
We have 13 right now, and by the time we get out there, there's very likely that we'll have another one. We're getting about 1 or 2 a day right now, so it's a fun time to come.
The givers of good things also receive endless supplies of bison gifts, but they've found a good balance between their love of the buffalo and the wisdom of their business.
If people don't get into raising them for the fact that there can be a profit, there's no reason to raise them. And there's no reason to get 1 million on this planet before 2025. So we know that in the end game that you have to have a profit. You can't just do it because you like them.
But they do like them, and even more so when they can share them.
I don't know what it does to you, but it just does something to your soul. And I know other animals makes people feel just as good, but these bison for some reason just will touch your heart.
In Cookeville, I'm Ezekiel Noel Hall on the Wild Side.
The Galls also own the Cookeville Boat Dock, so if you have a hankering for a bison burger, you can find one there, USDA approved. You might also find it interesting that the Galls sell starter herds to some recognizable Tennesseans, among them the band Perry.
Tennessee's Wild Side has been a presentation of the Jackson Foundation in association with Rockwater TV.